I am First Sergeant Delia S. Jones, United States Army retired, and I am a soldier for life. I have the pleasure of serving as the chair of the Orange County's Mayor's Veterans Advisory Council. On behalf of Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings and the Orange County and City of Orlando Veterans Advisory Councils, welcome to the annual Orange County War Memorial Wreath Presentation and Commemoration Ceremony. We come together every year on Memorial Day to pay homage and to honor all service members that made the ultimate sacrifice in safeguarding our freedoms. The memorial wall located outside this building represents our service members of Orange County that have given their all for those freedoms, and today we take a moment to remember them. Before we proceed, I would like to recognize the Daughters of the American Revolution, All-American Singers and Proud Veteran Chorus, directed by Miss Claire Hassler. We appreciate your kind performance. We also heard from the Winter Park High School Band Brass Quintet. They will perform again later in this program. Thank you for being here. Please give them all a round of applause. We are privileged to be joined by several elected officials and dignitaries today. Here today we have United States Representative Congresswoman Val Demings, Florida Senator Victor Torres Jr., Florida House District 47 Representative Anna Escamini, she here? Florida Senator Gary Sipling, former Orange County Mayor and current chair of the Orange County Public School Board, Teresa Jacobs, Orange County Commissioner Myra Uribe, District 3, Orange County Commissioner Maribel Gomez Cordero, Orange County Commissioner Emily Bonilla, Orange County Commissioner Victoria Sipling, Orange County Property Appraiser and Army Veteran Rick Singh, Chief Judge Fred Lawton, Ninth Circuit Court, Orange County Sheriff and U.S. Army Veteran Sheriff John Mina, Orange County Judge Gisela Laurent, Mayor of the Town of Eatonville, Eddie Cole, City of Edgewood Mayor John Dowlis, City of Ocoee Commissioner George Oliver, and if there are any other elected official in the audience that I may have missed, would you please stand to be recognized? Thank you. We would like to thank our Gold Star families. Are there any Gold Star families here with us today? This nation will remember and be grateful to the Gold Star families' loved ones and who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. As we pay tribute to our fallen service members this morning, I also want to recognize the ultimate sacrifice made by our first responders. It is not just our military troops that fight for our safety. It is also the brave work done by our local heroes, many of which have served in the military. Thanks for the brave service they provide to our community every day. Now, please join me as we rise for the presentation of colors by the Orlando Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club under the leadership of Sergeant Major Carrie M. Edwards, United States Army retired, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Command Sergeant Major Tommy Maldonado, United States Army retired, and our national anthem performed by Miss Cindy Clark of the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Color Guard, post.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave?
Terry, color. Mark time. March. Right turn. March. Half step. March. Left turn. March. Colors. Halt. Halt. Colors. Ready, set, mark time, march. Left turn, march. Half step, march.
Please remain standing for the invocation offered by Sergeant Fred Robinson, United States Marine Corps veteran and current Vice Chair of the Orange County Mayor's Veterans Advisory Council. Sergeant Robinson is a strong advocate for veterans in our community and serves on multiple veterans board and organization, and it is my honor to serve in this community alongside him.
Today, We are here to honor those who have served our country and given their lives so that we may stand here and still live in freedom. We need to be constantly reminded of our gift of freedom and those who gave all to make sure future generations continue to know life in a free, democratic society. Remembering those who have passed is only half of the task that is before us today. We must also carry their love, honor, and duty forward to the future generations that will pass. Our children must know who they were, what they did, and why they did it. To do anything less will be a disservice to their sacrifice and their memories. Those that are gone created a clear pathway for us to continue on. We must never waver from that path of freedom and democracy. Take their memories, take their dreams, and walk forward, shouldering the cause of freedom. Carry it high and proud. They did, and now you must walk forward for them and for our children. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Sergeant Robinson. I'm honored to now introduce the Mayor of Orange County, Mayor Jerry L. Demings. Mayor Demings was sworn in office on 4 December 2018 as the 5th elected mayor of Orange County and is the first African American to serve in this role. He oversees more than 8,000 Orange County employees and a $4.4 billion budget as the county's chief executive officer. We appreciate his continuous support of our active duty service members and veterans and their families. Mayor Demings will now provide us with a resolution. Mayor Demings, the podium is yours.
Good morning to all of you. It's indeed a great day here in Orange County as we commemorate this year's Memorial Day ceremonies. Thank you for joining us this day as we commemorate those who have served our country with courage and heroism. To all of our elected officials that are here with us today, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to share in this occasion. To the Orange County Veterans Advisory Committee Chair and Vice Chair, Ms. Delia D. Espute-Jones and Fred Robinson, thank you for your dedication and commitment to the council and to our Orange County veterans. Your level of service to our veterans and community is visible and commendable. Please stand and be recognized at this time. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, I would also like to acknowledge the members of the Orange County Veterans Advisory Council. Will all council members please stand and be recognized? Thank you for your continued service and the work you do each day for our community. Fortunately, we do not have any fallen service members to list on the memorial wall this year. However, it is imperative that we honor and pay tribute to those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for the nation in which we all live. To every veteran that is here and across the nation, America will never forget your sacrifices. With every member of the armed forces in uniform, past and present, please stand to be recognized. We applaud and honor you on this day. On this Memorial Day, let us recall the sacrifice of our service members and renew our promise to fulfill our sacred duty to them and their families who have also sacrificed so much so that we can live free in this great nation. On this Memorial Day, let us remember that every one of our fallen have answered the same call with valor, courage, and love. Love for their country, love for equality, love for their freedom and fellow Americans. President Barack Obama once said, "In the face of impossible odds, people who love this country can change it." To that end, I'm proud to present the following resolution in honor and tribute of our heroes. It reads, whereas on Memorial Day, the citizens of Orange County join their fellow Americans in remembering with gratitude and respect the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and the Coast Guard of the United States Armed Forces who answered the call of duty and made the ultimate sacrifice for the peace of our nation and the world. And whereas these courageous warriors are remembered for their selfless contributions in the name of freedom, their faithful service, and their devotion to duty and country. And whereas more than 1 million Americans have died on battlefields at home and abroad, tens of thousands more suffered and subsequently died as a result of their injuries, and more than 140,000 citizens have been held as prisoners of war or declared missing in action. And whereas our country honors the sacrifice of these heroes, efforts to lay the foundations of peace around the world, and when we forever mourn their loss. And whereas the Congress of the United States of America, by a joint resolution approved on May 11, 1950, requested the President issue a proclamation calling on the people of the United States to observe each Memorial Day as a day of prayer for permanent peace, and designating a period on that day when the people of the United States might unite in prayer. And whereas on May 17th of 2019, people of Orange County, Florida will pay, May 27th, 2019, the people of Orange County, Florida will pay special tribute to those servicemen and women who call this country their home, and whose names will be forever inscribed on the Orange County War Memorial in honor of those who gave their lives so that we might live free. Now, therefore, I, Gerald Demings, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the Orange County Mayor, do hereby resolve that Memorial Day, Monday, May 27, 2019, be observed as a day of tribute to our nation's fallen heroes, and call on all citizens to observe the day with appropriate ceremonies and activities done and ordered this 27th day of May 2019. Again, I do thank all of you for coming today and joining us in saluting all those who have served this nation that we so proudly call home. God bless each of you, and may God bless America. At this time, I am going to ask Ms. D. Dispute Jones to come forward and receive the resolution. And also, for her service, we have a certificate of appreciation for First Sergeant Delia D. Dispute Jones.
Thank you, sir.
And we also have a certificate of appreciation for Sergeant Fred Robinson. Would you come forward at this time as well? Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mayor Demings. We truly appreciate your leadership and your dedication to this county. It is an honor to call upon another sister, Sergeant First Class Priscilla Collegian, United States Army veteran. She will now introduce our guest speaker this morning. Sergeant First Class Collegian is the chair of the City of Orlando Mayor Veterans Advisory Council, and we're proud to welcome her today as our respective councils collaborate in honoring our veteran. Madam Chair.
Mark Green, a retired lieutenant colonel, began his career as a private in the United States Army in December of 1982. There was no break in service, 34 total years given to our country. He served in the 82nd Airborne on active duty, in the Guard as a combat arms and enlisted officer, and in the Reserve as an enlisted and officer there as well. He served overseas in Afghanistan as the Inspector General in charge of the southern half of the country along the Red Desert from the borders of Pakistan to Iran. As a young soldier, he was also a founding member of the Taekwondo team that went on to nationals and got the U.S. Army to recognize it as an official sport. Now he devotes his time to helping those in military service, veterans, and their families in resiliency and transition. Colonel Green holds a doctorate of law from Taft Law School, Santa Ana, California, a master's degree in organizational management and communications from Concordia University in St. Paul, Minnesota. He is also a Jack Canfield Certified Success Principles Coach, a graduate of Boots to Business program from Syracuse University, the Army Corporate Partnership Mentoring Program, and the SCORE Speakers Training, as well as a member of Lake Nona Toastmasters. He is an international best-selling author and has published 2 books on resilience for service members. His company, My Silver Boots, is a Florida-based, veteran-owned, made-in-America, U.S. small business. He, his wife Denise, teenage son Adam are residents of Orlando, and he has many military awards, some of which include the Bronze Star, the Meritorious Service Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster, the Good Conduct Medal, the Army Reserve Achievement Medal with 3 Bronze Oak Leaf Clusters, among many others. I introduce to you Lieutenant Colonel Mark Green.
Thank you, Priscilla. First of all, thank you to my wife for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Mayor Demings, thank you for being a part of taking time to be a part of this ceremony today. As I sat down to write my remarks, I began to feel the gravity of the day. I began to feel what it felt like to stand in front and talk about the loss we've endured. There are others doing the same around the nation in small town squares and cities. And we reflect and commemorate every loss in support of freedom. I took on what I felt was my duty when I was asked, and I remember why we do what we do and the sacrifices that have been given to support our way of life. If you think back at the tolls from every campaign that includes World War I, World War II, into China, Korea, Vietnam, and the global war of terrorism, those are the reasons to remember. So when I started thinking about what I would share, I wanted to stand before you and not just give you facts about how many or where, but also to remind people that when we actually give honor to others and we remind others about the service that others have had, we have to remember that these are not just service members. These are people. These are people, these are moms, they're dads, they're community leaders, they're religious leaders, they're blue and white collar workers, they're first responders, they're veterans, they're volunteers. Not only did they choose to serve, but they also choose to serve the community on top of that. And sometimes that burden can be very heavy. So with each survivor, I think they carry the weight of that loss. So as we all do as a nation. So I ask that we keep the memory strong in the minds, and that we keep our hearts, and we preserve to never forget where we've been and what we've done. Let us remind others that when serving, many places are not where we want to be. There's extreme cold and heat. There's dealing with injuries and psychological trauma. There's separation from loved ones. There's long days and nights where operations don't just stop at 9 o'clock. They go throughout the whole entire day and night. And it goes on and on and on and when we're fighting. And let us not also forget the POWs and the MIAs as well, as we need to still bring any of those home. We carry those memories today. And that is why we're here. You know, losing a battle buddy while serving is only the beginning. It then carries on to the nation and the family to carry that torch forward. But the honor it brings does endure and should always be evergreen. One of my experiences is that I have actually felt the loss of others' eyes multiple times when giving notifications to family members. I'm not sure if people realize the gravity of what that feels like, to walk up to a door and knock on it, and then share that the Secretary of the Army is sharing such an event. It was and has been the most difficult thing I've ever had to do in my entire life. I remember once in Minnesota, I had to give a notification, and I got out with the chaplain, and we walked up to the door, and we rapped on the door, and then the kin that was there was a brother, and when I knocked on the door, I was expecting, a regular-sized person, but this man, he covered the entire door. He was so big, and I was like, "Oh, I hope this doesn't go the wrong way." And when I told him that he had lost his brother, he reached out his hands in front of him and he said, "What do I do with my hands?" And I think he was so distraught from the news that he didn't even know what he was saying. So we don't feel it until we feel it, until we see it, until we're in front of it. But everyone that takes the time to be a part of the commemoration as well as the memory of it, that's how we keep strong. I got to tell you something. I love our veterans. After 34 years of wearing the uniform, there are so many stories and so many things you hear out there, and we are one hell of a resilient bunch of people. I love it when I see the flag flying in the wind. I love it when I stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I love it when I remove my cap and sing the national anthem. Today I remember by doing all of those things, Memorial Day gives us that time and the opportunity to remember the sacrifice. This day is set aside, and the flag waves at the foot of every marker of every national cemetery in the country so we can continue to remember. That's a powerful thing. And a little history, it began on May 30th of 1868 when General John Logan visited Arlington National Cemetery and spoke, calling at the time, he called it Decoration Day. And in doing so, he set a precedence that holds to this day, proof that we have held strong, and the value of our service and memorialized all with respect and gratitude for over 151 years. So we are all part of history to keep that going. The great things that we continue to honor the great thing is that we continue to honor each of them still today. We live in different times. Some choose not to put the effort into remembering the price that has been paid. The price of events like 9/11. We fight to keep traditions that seem to be eroding away at times. Maybe if they were residents of Florida or had met Florida residents like Marine Lance Corporal Antone D. Smith or Army Sergeant Arthur C. Williams IV or Deltona Airman Tara Brown, or Andy Morales, who was killed in Iraq, or Navy Petty Officer Second Class Jason Dwelly, all residents of the state of Florida. Or the two I met or served with, like General Francisco A. Espiat, our local commander in the 143rd Expeditionary Support Command, who is responsible for leadership, command, and control of over 9,000 Army reservists throughout the southeastern United States. It's funny, I used to sit in his office and we would talk about what can we do better? How can we take care of the servicemen, the soldiers better? What problem do we have today that we can fix? I also had a second person in my life when I was in Afghanistan. His name was Mark Gardner. He was a captain. And we went out on an assessment in the battlefield. And he is a USA captain in the Army KIA who died on July 6, 2009. We went out to do an assessment of what was going on, and they were in a real bad area, and he was killed by an IED a couple weeks after I met him. And that's when the gravity of things hit for me. So for me and others, it's not just today, but especially today, we remember. But we're strong, and you want me to prove it? Where are the Marines in the room? Where are the airmen? Where's the Army? Where's the Navy? Where's the Coast Guard? God bless our families, our country, and our defense. And I close with this quote. It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived. George S. Patton. Army strong.
Thank you for those remarkable and moving words, Colonel Green. As a community, we're truly privileged to have you share your strong message with us this morning and for all your service to this country. Now I ask you and Mayor Demings and young Marine Miss Ella Kern in laying a wreath in honor of the fallen. Once you place the wreath, please remain standing for the playing of taps. Please be seated, everyone. At this time, we'll hear a musical selection from the Daughters of the American Revolution, All-American Singers and Proud Veterans Chorus. Thank you, Daughters of the American Revolution, All-American Singers, and Proud Veterans Chorus. Thank you so much. Now all, please rise for the retirement of colors as we close out our ceremony this morning. Color Guard, retire the colors.
Left turn, march. Colors, halt. Retreat, colors. Ready, two. Mark time, march. Left turn, march. Half step, march.
At this time, I would like to invite Sergeant Fred Robinson to offer our benediction. Sergeant Robinson.
We remember today all of those who have come before us and given the greatest gift of our democratic nation, their lives. Their duty, their honor, and their lives are precious gifts that must be given to the future of our community and our country and families. The duty of our veterans past and present is the fiber of the word freedom and is stronger by our recognition of service and sacrifice. We honor that service and sacrifice today and should carry it forward for our children to honor. Freedom and democracy are a result of all of the most honorable this country has produced. Today we stand to remember the honorable among us, and we must continue to carry the burden of their sacrifice, lest we lose sight of what true freedom is. Today is for remembering. Stand in honor of them, walk in their path of duty, remember the cost, and hold in your heart the cause of freedom. We remember today, Memorial Day, our veterans. Amen.
I want to thank you all again for coming and joining us here. May today's service as a renewal of our dedication to those who have given so much in service to our country As you depart, we hope you enjoy a musical selection by the Winter Park High School Band Quintet. It was an honor to be here with you today, and it is an honor to serve those that have served and continue to serve this great nation. This concludes our ceremony. We ask that the ceremony participants please move forward in front of the stage for a very short presentation, and immediately following, we'll all move outside for photo opportunities by the memorial. Thank you again.